Hello, hello. Oi, oi, Bricky. The main man, Andrew Sherritt. Friend in real life. No, that wasn't to you. You knew that. No one else did. Well, friend of brother. Friend. Good footballer, if I remember rightly. Supports Birmingham for his sins. Frank Leboeuf. Sir Les Duthis. No idea what that is, mate. Adam Sands, evening. We're going to make this one very quick because there wasn't much midweek action at all. In fact, I think it was already tweeted out, but we can cover it very quickly. These were the League Cup results. Oh my god, is that my hair? Everyone always says this. Get my head shaved like every few months or whatever, and it shocks everyone every time. Yes, I do look like Gollum, I'm aware. Liverpool lost 3-2 to Ipswich. They were 2-0 up and they lost. Mr. Naylor, the guy who actually played this week as well, came off the bench and banged two, but it was a heavily repped team. Shocking. Not too much rep there. Evening, Aaron Lager. And Manchester United cruised to a 3-0 win. Sheffield United didn't have a single shot, so they couldn't concede for once. Man United. And Scholes bagged a brace. Of course he did, including a penalty, which is interesting. But obviously none of the main guys were on the pitch. The only, I suppose the thing of note to mention is if that is a heavily rotated squad and reps, Chadwick still played on the left wing. So maybe if he gets rep from right wing, he might come in on the left. Although Djordjevic here usually does take it. You look like a happier Wes Brown. I'd take that. Wish I had his money. Liverpool gave us the double, then went out of the League Cup. Yeah, not good, Goodman, not good. But still, gave us some fun. A little bit of chaos at least. Danny Webber and Callum Moonrock up top. Proper rep team this. It's the full deal. The full works. That's a haircut. It's a lockdown haircut. Although to be fair, I do it outside of lockdown quite a lot as well. I'm married, mate. I gave up giving a shit about my appearance a long time ago. What a game week though, eh? I'm glad it was enjoyable. I think people probably thought that the double was going to be a letdown after the 0-0, but this one didn't really disappoint, did it? The funny thing is there was only 7 shots on target in the whole game and ended up 4-2. So it could have been another dull fest, to be honest. But Perez and Jeff is doing the business. Ramberg being a bit of a hero for the double game week, despite me slagging him off. I still think he's pony, but he's done alright. It's not been bad. Substitution of Colin Cooper killed them at the end. I mean, he wasn't doing particularly well, but made a big difference. Right, you've obviously had the stats all come out anyway, so you don't need me to go through these too much. We've already covered previous, so it's going to be a short one, this. Let's go through the teams. Bang all the questions you can in the chat, guys, and I shall try to cover them as best as I can as I move forward. When do the games happen? Let's do that first. Right, so today is Saturday, as you can see in the top corner. These are all the guys due to play as soon as I click the button. So all their condition, injury status and everything will be bang on. Chelsea, Man United, Leeds and Leicester. They have 1 extra day. You jump from Ravanelli to Rude to Phillips on free hit. Thanks for your ramblings. Nice, yeah, Phillips. What an absolute haul. Penalties, man. They really ate. I mean, he did well without them, didn't he? But the penalties really seem to add to it. Just needs a little bit of luck, as Mr. David Unsworth is showing at the moment. And then finally, we've got Ipswich versus Newcastle. Obviously, it's a blank week. Spurs and Charlton's been taken out. So they get an extra 2 days. Everyone else then plays on the Saturday, and this is when it starts to get ridiculous in terms of games. There's going to be rotation here in these weeks. Let's do job security very quickly now while I remember. If you're saying that. No, Newcastle are okay apparently, Frank. Can't see it lasting though. Where it's going. Bloody Alan Shearer got booked as well, didn't he? He's been doing nothing for me for ages and he gets booked. Rohan, players or teams to target on a wildcard this game week. How fixtures looking for Leeds and Sunderland? Yeah, we'll do that at the end. Let's smash through the team news, and then that'll obviously help, because if I start suggesting someone is injured, it won't work. Yeah, I did like Duff based off the sim data and the fact he's nailed, but now Ronald de Boer's playing up front and is cheaper. I think that probably makes sense, Andy. I don't suspect he'll continue to score loads of goals, but he's what, 1 million or 0.5 cheaper and playing up front. I mean, it's just a no-brainer, I think, at the moment. Let's go back. Arsenal. So they play today. Some interesting-ish news. As you can see, Thierry Henry, he's still out for 10 days with a groin strain. I thought there was a chance he'd be orange for this game, which would muddy the waters a bit. Because obviously 90% an orange, similar to Desai, who went off injured, for fuck's sake, for my team. Yeah, it could have happened again, couldn't it? So he's injured, and as they're playing today, he won't turn orange for today. So he's definitely not playing. So anyone who moved to Jeffers, Kanu, Bergkamp's obviously there as well. You got a better chance of your forward playing, and it's a pretty damn good game. So that's pretty good news, I would suggest. Pires is obviously 97%. Ashley Cole's 1 yellow away from a ban. Edu's wanted by Watford. Albertini is still 3 months away. Lee Dixon is also on 85%. Again, they can play on that. It doesn't necessarily mean anything, but that probably tips the weight towards Lauren or Lejny, I suppose, at right back. So it's pretty good news all round if you're a person who owns Arsenal assets. Frederick Turner, is there a way to tell De Boer is going to play forward or wing, or is it completely random? It's not completely random. You can base it on previous. This week, however, I would have expected them to play 3-4-1-2. Not 3-4-1-2, sorry. 4-3-1-2, because they played it at home to Leeds previously, where De Boer was in centre midfield running to the corner flag. That's what I would have bet on. But it would have been that or the airplane one, which is what they did do. Usually you can pin it down to within about 70% of what they're going to do. Most guys will know. It's just in some of the home games, it's not 100%. They can even change if you... I mean, it's not guaranteed they'll play the same if you were to rerun the game. So there's no exact science. Well, I'll come back to these questions, guys, at the end. Oh my god, you're bold. I'll let you get over it. Take a few breaths. Aston Villa, they play today versus Sunderland. Quite a lot of injuries for them, actually. So Melberg's few days, gash leg, could make an appearance. Staunton, 10 days, gash leg. Boateng is a few days, twisted knee, 87%. And Merson's 2 weeks with a chest injury. So Hitzelsberger could continue in centre midfield, 4 million defender. It's not particularly good for attacking returns, so I wouldn't be bothered getting him. But if you're on a free hit or something, he might be one of the 4 millions. However, Boateng could obviously come in at that condition. Alpi is suspended for 3 games. That probably helps Melberg's chances of coming in. Yeah, could play Gareth Barry at centre half. if they don't play Melbourne and they don't play Alpi, they're a little bit weaker in that area. Probably gives Millwall. Is it Millwall they're playing? No, Sunderland. Probably gives Sunderland strikers a better chance, to be honest. I think Phillips. I watched CM Fantasy's video earlier today, and Phillips came out very well, which is good for me because he's in my team. So I think it's a good game anyway. Villa don't go ultra defensive away from home against lesser sides, which Sunderland are, lower rep teams. So now they've got a few defenders out as well. That's probably pretty good news for Phillips, actually. Is this a hint from Luke to go for players that were bold? We sim it after this, so I can't give you any of my tips. If any of them come through, it's pure skill / luck. What's Andrew Sherritt saying there? I would move funds around to try to get a premium in. For sale? Yeah, bad game this week. I mean, it's home. Could do alright, but it's Man United. Yeah, I'd probably switch. And Zola is back. We'll have a look when we get to the fixtures. Who we could go for. Blackburn, they also play today. Tony Adams is still out for 2 months. Bjornaby's 3 weeks with a calf strain. Lasso is back 100%. So that means, if we go to their last match, if I was to guess at their formation this week, as we were just saying, they're playing Watford at home, so I would suggest they'll either play this exact one they just played here, or now Lasso is available, it could be with the flat back four. So let's go for a home game against a poor side. Home to Derby. Okay, they played the airplane. Was Lasso available? Possibly not, so could still play that even if he is available, of course. Here, Lasso wasn't in the team, so maybe not. Have we got any home to anyone else? They could play this one, even though that was against Arsenal, because there's Lasso. So that could be the alternative. If that happens, De Boer's out wide more often than he's in the middle. I'd still probably guess at the airplane one. But either way, De Boer's in a good position, right? He'll either be up front or right wing, probably. Everyone else is cool. Bolton, again today. Home to Middlesbrough. Pretty tough game. Hard one to call that. Pitts is a week away. He is orange, however. None of these other guys play. Southall is on 80%, who has been playing at right wing back. That might cause them a problem. Gardner's on 87%. He did start the first game of the season, if I remember rightly, bang on 70%. So unless it's a rep game, which technically it is because it's home to a rep 12 side in Middlesbrough, which means the whole team could rep, Gardner pretty much starts, is my point, even if he's on very low condition, so I wouldn't particularly worry about that. However, early sub possible if there's someone on the bench or just gets knackered. Colin Cooper's 1 yellow away from a ban. Everyone else is good. Charlton don't play, they're 7 days, so I'm going to skip past them. So funny, like the game got called off because of the internationals, but then Shitu went out on loan anyway. So it wouldn't have been postponed with just 2 people this game. Kinsella's still 3 weeks away if anyone's got him. Chelsea, who play tomorrow, home to Man United. Both Desai and Babayaro went off injured last game, as they both played when they were orange flagged, which we know can happen. And is not a good idea by the AI. As a result, my mate Desai, who sat in my dead team and I've been waiting for a month because he got injured, is now out for another month. So that's fabulous. And I suspect the same thing will happen again because it's a recurrence of the same injury. So when he's about 10 days away, he'll be orange, and I'll be running the gauntlet again as to whether he will last the game if he starts it. So really, if you've got him, you've just got to get rid and hope that the AI is clever about it, or the timing just works out in your favour. Hi Jack Wilson, FPL Wilson, nice to see you, mate. Babiaro, 10 days with a calf strain, injured as well, obviously came off. So that's not particularly good for them. They're going to... When they had this last time, I think they played Gallas at centre-back and Dean Holden at left-back, if I remember rightly. Let's see if I can find that game. Yeah, here. So Desai and Babiaro are both injured here. So I imagine that's probably what they'll go with against Manchester United. So Holden's... He's not really a left back. He's not terrible, but he gets a penalty because he can't really play that position. So could be good for the likes of well, I guess it will be Chadwick, won't it? Mostly. However, it's an away game, still a tough game, but you never know in terms of matchups. Could work in Chadwick's favour. Which side does Van Nistelrooy play on? Is he the right forward? I can't remember. If he is, then it's likely up against Gallas, which... Although Desai is better, Gallas is obviously decent in this game, so I don't think it'll be a massive downgrade. Still 19 for jumping and stuff, he's still decent. Derby, who also played today, away to Man City. They've got Carbonari a few days out, 90% still. And Lee Morris 10 days with a twisted knee. Stats are getting better and better, but he's still not seeing much game time at all. Ravanelli's just been on beast mode, so sometimes he comes in for Ravanelli because Ravanelli's awful eventually and dips off, but maybe not in this one. Powell is away on international duty with Jamaica, and so is Dion Burton, but none of those two really play anymore. Everton. Again today, away to Liverpool, very tough game. GX, who was a bit of a hero, wasn't he? Yeah, a goal and an assist. Man of the match, only played 30 minutes. What a 30 minutes it was though. He's now injured though. For 2 weeks with a twisted knee. So probably time to get rid, I guess. Although at 5 million you could bench him, can't you? 1-1, Leicester goal in Yacho. Oh, I'm loving that. People have got Brighton defenders in Sky and I don't. I'm just checking that now so you're not trolling me. Not that I think you're a troll, Jack, but you know, VAR control us all. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Ferguson is a few days with a twisted knee, 72%. So over that 70% threshold, he could end up turning up, which would be a bad decision, but you never know. Steve Watson is wanted by Newcastle. Be interesting. Gravison's 1 yellow away from a ban. And that's it. Tielemans assist. Okay. I think I picked him in Fantasy 5. Still needs another return probably, knowing that game. Ipswich. So yeah, 2 days for these guys. So at the moment, Marcus Stewart is 90%, a few days away with a groin strain, but they have got 2 days until they play. So a few days, I'm assuming that means 3. So he'll probably still be orange and 90% come that game, but he'll be very touch and go. So he could quite easily play. Doherty's 98%. 3 goals in 5 games for him at Ipswich. I think he scored a couple at... Pretty sure he scored a couple at Spurs as well, didn't he? He scored 3 goals for Spurs in his cameos as well. He's got 6 goals. Man's a machine. He did go to Newcastle, yeah. That's why I said it was interesting. There's also been a signing. for Ipswich. So they've splashed the cash on a few people now. He did, yeah, pretty sure Michael Smith, pretty sure he did. Isle Berkovic, 2.7 million from Leeds, and they themselves bought him off of Man City for nearly 8 million last season, and then barely played the guy. 2 games, 7 sub appearances last season, 3 games, 2 sub appearances, assist and a goal here. Anyway, he's at Ipswich now. I think he's a 5.5 million midfielder. His stats aren't, amazing, but given his reputation, because he's obviously a very well-known player, he probably plays. Ipswich have got a lot of midfielders, but he could be an interesting one, I guess, one to keep an eye on. I don't really know how well he'll do. I don't think I've ever seen him go to Ipswich, and the thing with Ipswich is they changed their formation a lot. Obviously, like, where's he going to play in this formation? Is he going to play in centre midfield instead of Holland? Maybe. Probably more likely up front if that was the case in this one. If he played in centre midfield, I mean, it's bad. This is a terrible formation anyway for the centre midfielder, but at least Holland's a bit of an all-rounder. If Berkovic played there, that would be a tragedy for them. In this formation, he might be one of the guys that's going up towards the goal. That's pretty good. It's better than having Redknapp run up there. Barely move. Yeah, I watched all the football today again, and it's been mostly painful. I don't know why I'm doing it to myself. So yeah, I mean, he's probably most likely to be a centre midfielder, I guess. Their general formation at home is something like this. So in this formation, maybe he's up front. But I think he probably plays centre midfield more likely. His main position is obviously AMC. So sometimes they tweak it and they'll bring one of these people down if they are going to play it, or maybe one of these guys has got an up arrow, or I think I've seen them go in cut inside as well. My hair fell out after the Gareth Bale triple captain. Couldn't believe it. Just went. So yeah, everyone else is pretty much fit though. Everyone's back. Armstrong's back. Marcus Stewart's close. So in terms of Doherty's chances of playing up front, not sure. I think it's random as ever, really. As random as ever. I think you've got to play him just in case. Mark Smith could play. Yeah, I mean, if Berkovic gets up top spots, then obviously it's going to affect him. I think he's more likely to play midfield though. Let's go back to Man City's games. This is where Berkovic played in a 4-4-2 when they had forwards. Didn't play there. Benabria. He's not even getting games. Was he injured? Christ's sake. There we go. Doesn't necessarily mean anything, but I think the AI prefers him as a midfielder. That would be my guess anyway. Which isn't a good thing for Doherty, I guess. Wilson, Spurs versus Palace score prediction tomorrow. To a Palace fan. I already gave my prediction, didn't I? On Black Box. I can't remember what I said now. 3-0 to Spurs, I said, I think. You captain... Oh, nice one. Ward-Prowse. Yeah, love that. Came in. Penalty, obviously. A bit lucky because Ings went off, but I thought he was good in the game. Set pieces versus Sheffield United's good, and probably the only way they score against City would be a set piece, you would have thought, so you never know. Decent, love that. Very tempted by Berkovic, says Andrew Shearer. New signings always do well, and I got Wilcox for his first game at Charlton and he flew. Yeah, I mean, why not? We're having a bit of fun, aren't we? I could see him doing well. It's a pretty decent game, home to Newcastle. Newcastle are dreadful. I mean, I'm almost certain he'll play, so that's a big enough step in this game usually, isn't it? Leeds play tomorrow. Bridges is still long term, 5 months. Poor bastard. Decor is out for 3 months in a reserve game. So I suppose it's useful in one sense that it takes away one of those centre midfield options that cause a lot of rotation. He's such a good DM in this game. I don't know why they don't play him. It's fantastic. Lennon's out for 2 weeks with a groin strain. Doesn't normally play at all, but he is over 70%. Everyone else is okay. Bowyer is a yellow away from being banned. Great game for them, home to Leicester. I expect them to do well. It is a rep game, so you never know. Always have to bear that in mind, but you can't worry about these things. If it happens, it happens. So yeah, I mean, Smith and Viduka could easily continue up front. King could go up front, kill AMC. Bowyer, McPhail, Bowyer, Backer, whoever in centre midfield is always the slight concern. They've got all their defenders back though, as well. They've had a few injuries, so getting closer and closer to full strength really. Yeah, Bowyer back, would that affect Smith? It could do, Billy. Yeah, it could do. Because Bowyer's fairly, of all the centre midfielders, he generally plays like 33, 34, maybe even 35 games. So he's got one of the spots. So it's whether Harry Kewell plays in centre midfield or AMC. Yeah, he doesn't think about, you know, having one defensive and one not. So it could easily have that. So it's a chance. It's a great game for Smith though. So I'd be tempted to leave him in if you've got him, because he could punish you, and then obviously if he lets you down or he doesn't turn up, then probably just get rid of him after that. But equally, I can understand the viewpoint of just if you've got a move to make and you like someone else, and you know there's a chance he doesn't play, then these are the decisions you got to make. It's a tough decision. Leicester, who play tomorrow. Yeah, they're playing away to Leeds, obviously. Trevor Benjamin, 90% few days, doesn't often play. Legend. Muzzy is 90% few days, twisted knee. So he got injured recently, didn't he? He's now at a condition where he could be played. And everyone else is okay. Dennis Wise is still 1 yellow away from a ban. He's been avoiding it for ages. Akin Bai is on international duty. That's good for Scowcroft owners, I would suggest, and Sturridge as well. Not that he's done anything at all. McAnuff was pretty damn good, wasn't he, last game? Interesting thing about McAnuff is he's got an intrinsic dribbling stat that is of cheat levels, so higher than 20. So similar to Gardner. So he can, on occasion, just completely rip it up. He's got 3.1 dribbles there, again, which is pretty damn high. So he's capable. He's in that niche category of key stats that are cheat level in some areas. So again, used correctly, he can do bits. And obviously he did it here. How many runs did he go on actually? He went on 12 runs. There you go. So that shows you. He just absolutely, his cheat stat just basically cheated the Man City defence, and he was unplayable. It happens. Liverpool today, home to Everton. Pretty decent game that. Obviously a derby. The players do have a stat in the background. Basically looking at big games. That's when it comes into play. Stephen Wright is out for a month with a hip injury still. Hegum is out for 3 months. Both long term, these guys. Smeetsa is 90% 1 day twisted knee. Yeah, today, so he could play. And Warnock's 2 weeks, but he's below 70, so we won't be seeing him. Everyone else is fine. Could be a good game for Michael Owen this. Hippie is fine and Henshaw is fine, so finally got the dynamic duo back together. So that's probably looking good for a clean sheet, to be honest. As close as you're getting to see him anyway. Man City today, home to Derby. Decent game this for them anyway. Yeah, their injuries have cleared right up, so everyone is gravy. Tiato I'll show you my free hit team at the end, but he's in it. I think he could do well this week. Wingers always do well against Derby, and Tiato's one of the better wingers in the game. Free kicks, penalties, blah, blah, blah. Obviously been returning really consistently over the season as well, so I think he's a bit of a no-brainer this week. Doesn't always go that way though, as we know. One shot, been a bit of a letdown. Only 6 goals in 16 games, but yeah, sim data puts him like 15 to 20 goals quite often. And his average rating is still decent. So I back him to turn it around. It could be this game. Man City, Derby at home, away to Leeds. That's obviously horrific. Home to Millwall, away to Sunderland, home to Watford. It's a nice little run. Not bad. It's just away to Leeds that's pretty bad, isn't it? And then it gets a bit horrific for a little while. You guys still there in the chat? I haven't lost you. There's no comments. Just wondering. Computer's a bit dodgy. Someone else scored. No. Don't be silly. No one scores goals anymore. Okay, yeah, Man United. So playing tomorrow. In terms of their player fitness. This is to do with the League Cup here, wasn't it? Nearly everyone who matters is fine and will be fine. Chadwick's 88%. Stats over here are getting very good. So, yeah, by tomorrow he'll be about 95, 96. So shouldn't be a worry for him playing. Ronnie Johnson's 1 yellow away from being banned. It's Man United, so they could do well, but I think when you look at all the games across the season, away to these big guys, it's not particularly pretty most of the time. So if there's ever a week not to captain Van Nistelrooy, it's probably this week. Away to Arsenal, defensive, direct, hard. They scored 1 goal, don't have that many shots, so you never know. But probably safe to look elsewhere, or if you don't own him, to avoid bringing him back in. I think a lot of people got rid of him because they were fearful of the rep last week, and then obviously away to Chelsea the week after made sense. So over the two, probably got to weigh it up, and it's probably a decent move as long as he doesn't do anything this week. But it's Van Nistelrooy. Where is he? He's got a ridiculous 16 goals in 17 games. He's on for a 30-goal season, similar to Viduka last season. It's so rare that they get 30, but it would be incredible if we got one in back-to-back seasons. But he's certainly on course for it. Evening, Adam. Nice to see you. One of the guys in you second, Adam? Top 3, something like that. Though you've been dropping a bit recently, I think you were saying. Middlesbrough away to Bolton. Jones, the keeper, still out for 3 months. Boyce is out for 2 months. None of these guys play. Windass is wanted by Cambridge United. Dean Gordon, Man United are still interested. Yeah, they played the League Cup, Anurag. That's why their players were selected. Atherton is 1 yellow away from a ban. Boxage is 100. Everyone's good. Third, nice. Millwall, yet today, home to Arsenal. Neil Harris, unfortunately for them, out for 3 weeks. I say unfortunately, he's got 1 goal in 16 games. Billy McKinley is still a weak groin strain, 90%. Can obviously still feature on that. Did he last week? No, Evans played. So hopefully Evans again. Kevin Braniff, 90%, out for a week. Warner's wanted by Swindon. Goalkeeper, the main guy, is still suspended 2 games. So I guess it'll be John Ashford in goal again. 1 game, 1 sub appearance, 8 goals conceded. That was because of Everton, wasn't it? David Unsworth penalties. 9 shots on target, only scored 3, so he did alright. But I watched CM Fantasy's video this morning because he released it early, so I had a look before this. Apparently Arsenal absolutely batter Millwall, which makes sense because Millwall are terrible. They're at home, so therefore they'll be playing attacking like this, and Arsenal play attacking away from home. So it's attacking versus attacking. And Millwall are pretty shite, so I'd expect Arsenal to do well. Gordon's Man United would not play though, surely? Probably not. Wouldn't have thought so. New signing might play the first few and then disappear. Probably be back up. Could go left back, Sylvester into centre back instead of Ronnie Johnson. That's his only chance, I would have thought. He's not particularly good left back though. He's better at left wing. Newcastle, 2 days on top of what we see here. Again, CM Fantasy's video, Alan Shearer did very good this week, which was, I mean, he can do good any week because it's Shearer. But I was pleased to see that because he's been absolutely woeful for me for a long time now. So hopefully he can do something this week. Again, with penalties, you just never know. Robert is still out for 1 game. Bellamy's wanted by DC United. Barton is 1 yellow away. Oh, 3-match ban starting on. Oh, he also got suspended. Okay, he's 1 yellow away, but he's also got a suspension, which starts on the 22nd. I don't think anyone's got him, so I'm not going to bother looking. But yeah, condition-wise, everyone's fine. Obviously, when a game's 2 days away, they've still got 2 days worth of training. So once you click continue, that's it. Someone could get injured in those 2 days and we just wouldn't know about it. That's just terrible luck. There's nothing you can do about that. Everyone still hates Robert. Sunderland, today, home to Villa, who have got some of their defenders out. When does Shearer's suspension start? 22nd of December for 5 yellow cards. So he will miss away to Charlton. You kidding me? Oh, Alan, man, I need you for that game. Oh, that's brutal. Utterly brutal. They'll still have away to Watford, but away to Charlton's up there with the best game in the fixture list. Typical. Sunderland. Again, playing today. Sorts his long term 3 months. Everyone else is absolutely fine. Issa is on international duty though, so he won't be playing at centre back. He also picked up a ban, didn't he? So that starts on the 21st of December. So he will miss Blackburn away. And is still at international duty. So who will come in at centre back for them? There's a few options. Varga's one of them. Played in the cup a couple of times. Where's McCartney? McCartney played a few games in a sub. He could feature. I think they've stuck Lawson at centre back before and put McCartney at right back, so that could happen, which could cause a bit of a mismatch because he's not a particularly good centre back. Yeah, interesting game, the Sunderland Villa one. Spurs, 7 days until they play because they are blanking, but we can quickly check. Everson picked up an injury, he's out for a month. So looking forward to the double and stuff. I don't think he'll be back in time, will he? Where are we? 14th of December we are. Yeah. might not be back in time. It's not looking good. So Everson looks like he's probably out for the double. Ziga's 2 weeks. Everington a month. Simon Davies is 1 yellow away from a ban. Watford today away to Blackburn. Paolo Venenza's out for... sorry, he's 1 yellow away before he gets banned. And Marcus Gale's out for a few days with a damaged shoulder. Shit, wanted Everson for the double. Yeah, it could have been a cheeky look, couldn't he? No, I mean, unless things change, unless he heals a lot quicker or he's orange by that time or something. I mean, I suppose at least it narrows the options. But their doubles 7 days apart, I think, but they've also got a cup or a league game in between there. Yeah, so that's everyone. There's not that many injuries or anything. Let me just check my phone because they've sent me a breakdown in case I skimmed over something too quickly. Any rumours, etc. And then we'll look at the fixtures and what we can expect a little bit. Right, let me just see. Oh, okay. Chelsea have signed some under 20 keeper. Don't think he'll be playing anytime soon, but they've signed this bloke from Hampstead. Ipswich narrows their striker options actually. Finidi's finally gone. He hasn't actually gone to a Premier League team though. He's gone to Rangers. So like everyone else seems to be going to Celtic, he's decided to join Rangers. But Finidi is out of here. Goodbye, sir. You had your moments in season 1. Hignett has gone from Blackburn. He was on loan already. That's it, inconsequential. Berkovic we've obviously covered. Milosevic is a backup keeper for Leeds. He's gone out on loan. He's gone out on loan. We've added a few players to the game because they started this week, so that's always what we do if they play. Doesn't mean they're going to continue to play. Obviously, Barber, for example, was 1. Where is Mr. Barber? He's a right winger of sorts. Why can't I see him? There he is. 16-year-old James Barber's in the game now. He's a 4.5 million midfielder, as you'd expect. Naylor is now in the game for Leicester, who did play and then played in the League Cup, but not Leicester, Ipswich. So he's now in the game. He's a 4.5 million forward, so if you think he's going to play, by all means. I'll check Rui Costa in a minute. Ashwood from Millwall has been added to the game. The keeper, he's 4 million. Bit of a madman if you go there, but he is there if you want to. Oh, the FA Cup tie has been drawn. Let's have a look at that quickly. So this is the draw. I think I've got that right. Arsenal at home to Sheffield. Aston Villa playing Chelsea. Ipswich versus Cambridge. Leeds away to Huddersfield. Derby at home to Leyton Orient. Millwall and Leicester, another Premiership tie there. Newcastle home to Walsall. Man United away to Northampton. What a draw. Middlesbrough away to Norwich. Tottenham away to Portsmouth. Liverpool away to Rochdale. Bolton away to Southport. And Charlton and Sunderland are playing each other. Watford at home to Brighton. And Blackburn away to West Ham. Some interesting. Brighton's they've conceded, have they? Beautiful. And nobody scored it as well, as in nobody anyone's got. Oh, it's brilliant. Avoiding Brighton's worked out even better than I could have hoped. For Sky, guys. People who play FPL won't have a clue what I'm talking about. I'll show you Birmingham very quickly, Andrew. You're in 14th. Of course, AJ's leading the way for goals. Went to our school. Decent player in this game, actually. Did I captain Vestergaard? No, I captain Martinez. So much of muchness in the end. Martinez should obviously have had a lot more. What was I going to do? Transfers. Let me just check I haven't missed any rumours. Actually, they're added on the bottom. So we've still got a few rumours. Let me go through them. Actually, loads of rumours. Jesus Christ. Okay. I'll use the type to this one, but it's probably easier. Oh, don't make me type his full name. Come on, stupid game. So, Thomas Antolinus could be on the move soon. Millwall, Ipswich and Blackburn are all interested in him. He's leaving on a Bosman. So, they can still buy them when they're leaving on a Bosman, or they might just offer him a contract, which wouldn't mean anything for this season. So, we'll see. But yeah, possibility. Steve Brooker. Sunderland are interested in him. As you can see, finishing 20, heading 20. Off the ball's pretty poor. Pace is not great. Acceleration shocking. Jumping 17. So if he was to go to Sunderland, he's only just signed a new contract actually, but he's got a release clause, so you never know. Might be more handy than Sibon anyway. Let's have a look. Another player Ipswich are interested in. Jesus. Splashing the dosh. Yusuf Chippo. Looks a handy player. Ipswich and Wolves are interested. If Ipswich sign him, that's another centre midfielder. This game. Clearly don't need any more of those, but he could go. Oh, this is quite interesting actually, and people who play this game will know of this guy very much so. He's a very good keeper actually. Often sign him, depending on what team you're playing as, but he's a pretty good keeper. So he could make a difference. He's Newcastle and Everton are interested in him. So Newcastle have got Given, who's half decent, but this guy's better. So that would improve them. But Everton in particular, it would really improve them because Gerrard and Simonson are absolutely awful. And people have got Unsworth and stuff, haven't they? So that would be a good signing for them. Be interesting if he gets there. So that is a decent rumour. This lad as well is good in the game. He's a right winger. As you can see, stats are really good. I often sign him if I'm playing as a really good team. I often sign him sometimes as a starting player, sometimes as a backup because he's got lots of good key attributes. He's a great little player, and he is interested. Liverpool are interested in him, along with a lot of other teams though. So that'd be great if Liverpool managed to snag him because their midfielders are a bit of a minefield, aren't they? So if he comes, that would be very good, I think. You were thinking the other day, I bet Dimitris Erythrolampolos is not in the sim, yeah. Let's call him Dimitri, I think it's probably the easiest thing. I hope Gallardo goes there. Who else have we got? We've still got loads. Gary Hull. Gary Hull. Norwich to Newcastle. He's a decent DM in this. If he goes, who have they got in the midfield at the moment? Madison, haven't they? playing alongside Stephen Hughes, so that'll be the end of Maddison, I would imagine. Although Maddison can play right wing, right back, everywhere. This is a funny one. Don Hutchison. Interested, Watford. That was him in season 1 for us. Could go to Watford. Probably play up front. Probably alongside Helgeson, I imagine. Oh no, they got Smith actually, haven't they? I don't know. Probably be back up. Maybe in this. Actually, that centre midfield spot, they generally play Valencia and then a random person, don't they? So maybe it's slot into centre midfield. Which is not a good idea. Because he's not a centre midfielder. This guy is actually good as well. Richard Nopper. Again, anyone who plays the game will know this. This guy's pretty damn good. Can get very good. Aston Villa are interested in him. Along with Rangers. So given the way it's going at the moment, it's probably Rangers who end up signing him. But that could be decent. That'll be the end of Ian Taylor, I'd imagine. It'll be Boateng and him in centre midfield. So if you own Ian Taylor, that's one to look out for. Should improve Aston Villa's goal output though. Henrik Larsson is still wanted. Why can't I spell Larsson? Let's do Henrik. There's a million Henriks, of course there is. Henrik Larsson. Still wanted by Leeds. No worries, Irons, no worries. We should play COD together, my man. Add me up. Quite a lot to catch up on, actually. There's not much in terms of injury news, but, you know, little bits and pieces here or there. Lots of rumours. Hopefully these transfers go through because there's many of them. Klaus Lundekvam is still wanted by Arsenal. I mean, he's pretty shit, but he's better than most of the Arsenal centre-backs, to be fair. And the fact they're playing Van Bronckhorst at centre-half, probably do worse. Gary O'Connor. Wow. It's going to set the world alight at Blackburn, possibly. That's a nothing one, isn't it? If Wilson's still in the chat, we might have a Palace player come into the Prem. Again, he's leaving on the Bosman ruling, so it might be that they just do that and he comes for the next season in the game rather than they buy him. But clubs do often put in an offer so they can just get it done. So you never know, he might come. That could mean the end of Galley, I suppose. There's always a chance. You're far too good for me. Oh, we won't play against each other. Do you play Warzone? We can play together. And if I play with you, it balances out our KDs and it means that my lobbies aren't as super sweaty anymore if you're shit. That helps me. It won't help you, but it will help me. And trust me, my best mate that I play with, he lives in... where does he live? It would be a good idea if I knew where he lived, wouldn't it? I've just lost the rumours page while I'm talking. He lives in Vietnam because he's moved out there. So his internet is shocking and he's got a KD of 0.7. So I play with him all the time and that is painful. You can't be worse than him. He is shocking. Rui Costa is still wanted. By two teams still. Arsenal, Leeds, and then obviously Roma as well. He is still in their thoughts. God knows if it ever happens. The rumoured out ones, I'm not going to click them all. I'm just going to say Craig Bellamy, we already clicked on that rumour to go to DC United. Dion Burton to Brentford. Steve Chettle to QPR. B. Roberts from Charlton to QPR. And Dean Windass, Middlesbrough to Cambridge United. There's one within actually. We may as well click this one. So Edu, did we click it before? Edu is wanted by Watford. They're definitely looking for a centre midfielder then, aren't they? So maybe he goes. Dean Gordon to Man United as a rumour, and Steve Watson from Everton to Newcastle. So that covers all the rumours. So that's all the rumours, all the injuries. Let's quickly look at the fixtures. Again, I've watched CM Fantasy's video, so it'll probably influence my thought process now as to what these games are. But in general, I think Blackburn at home to Watford, that's a really good game for Blackburn. Watford are pretty good at scoring goals, so maybe they get one. But home advantage here. That's a clear sort of 2-3 for Blackburn, I would say. Watford maybe score 3-1. Might go for that. Has he been playing through this saga, or do players even of his quality when they request transfer still play? They've got a great squad anyway. They don't always play him. That's part of the reason why he gets annoyed for Milan. They play strange formations. That means they don't always play him. But he will have played the odd game. We can click it. Bolton versus Middlesbrough. This one's incredibly tough. Bolton been so solid. Just got spanked away from home to Arsenal and Man United, which you'd expect. Middlesbrough have been very good away from home. Bolton play one on the wing, and Middlesbrough have obviously got the double up on the wing. That's been a thing consistently over the game, so still think Johnston and Zepeda could do okay here. I think it'll be fairly low scoring though. I'd imagine that's like a 1-1. Either team could nick it. Liverpool at home to Everton. This looks probably one of your closest ones for a banker clean sheet, unless Unsworth gets a pen. I'd say maybe 2-0 Liverpool. The only thing is it's a derby, could be red cards. They obviously changed the game massively, so yeah, you can't predict them, but you never know. I'd go 2-0 in that one to Liverpool. Could be a decent game for Owen. Big game, obviously big game stat. Man City at home to Derby. Again, Derby wingers are pretty bad. Away from home, they usually play with a DM, which means the wingers aren't quite as susceptible, but still, likes of Tiato and Svensson could do very well in this game, I think. Could be a clean sheet. 2-1 to Man City, 2-0 to Man City, something like that. Andrew Sherritt, CM Fantasy videos are great. They want me to wildcard every week. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? They do obviously make you realise what you're potentially missing, but you've still got to play this game with a little bit of a view. I mean, especially this season, nowhere near as bad as last season for the amount of injuries and stuff. You've got to play it with a view to a few fixtures. You can't have everyone. You've got to miss out on a few every now and then. And it doesn't always go to type, as we know. Millwall home to Arsenal. Millwall, yeah, will be attacking at home. Arsenal will be attacking. They've got far better players. Millwall, rock bottom in sim data for goals conceded across the season. So I should expect that will be a comfortable Arsenal win. They're without Henry though, so what will I say there? Millwall's still pretty good for a goal from home, I'd say, as they're both attacking. 3-1 to Arsenal, something like that. Sunderland at home to Villa. Villa have got some defenders out, Melberg and Alpai. I think Sunderland might win this quite comfortably. Again, CM Fantasy, I've already mentioned it, had Phillips doing very well. Yeah, 3-1? 2-0? I think Sunderland will win that game. My cat's hissing in the background. I've got a kitten, which you might have seen, and the other cat doesn't like it. Let's go break up a fight in a minute. Chelsea versus Man United. I expect this will be an absolute rotter. 0-0, 1-1, 1-0 to one of the teams. I'll go 1-0 Chelsea. It's just what the stats always say. There'll be low shots for everyone. Chelsea do attack, but for some reason when they play, even when Chelsea play attacking against the big teams, they don't generally score that many goals. So probably 1-0 Chelsea. But Chelsea have got Desai and Babayara out and Holden's at left back, so maybe Chadwick can do something. Leeds versus Leicester, again, rep game. In fact, I haven't mentioned, I mean, you guys know what rep games are now anyway. Blackburn at home to Watford's a rep game. Bolton at home to Middlesbrough is a rep game. Liverpool at home to Everton is a rep game, I think. Or what Everton? I can't remember, they're 12 or 13. That's what I think they're a little bit higher, actually. They're 13, so maybe not. Man City home to Derby's one. Villa are higher than 12. They're quite high, aren't they? They're 13, so no, I don't think Sunderland will. Leeds home to Leicester is one. But if Leeds are playing their full team, or even if they're not, I'd 2-3-0, 4-0. I think Leeds could comfortably win that game. They've been a bit of a letdown, but if you've got Viduka and Smith, I think he'll be quite heavily captain Viduka this week. Cats are fighting again. Ipswich at home to Newcastle. Well, apparently Shearer does very well in this game, so I hope he can score, but Newcastle are dreadful away from home. I wouldn't be surprised if that's sort of 2-1 to Ipswich, maybe 2-2 if Shearer can pull his finger out. But I think you've got to back Ipswich in this game. Anyway, made a little free hit team. Hopefully you can see this. So sometimes these do well, sometimes they do pretty poor. I don't know if the resolution's any good there. So I'll just talk you through it. So Blackburn home to Watford. So I'll target that fixture. I think Janssen and De Boer are good for that. Obviously De Boer playing up front at 6 million. Seems a bit of a no-brainer for me. Janssen looks good. Phillips at home to Villa with their defenders out. Looks really good to me. Again, CM Fantasy, top of his stats. So got to back that. That's all I've seen for Sim Data so far. Viduka's home to Leicester. Again, a no-brainer really. The only other one I really thought of here, I mean there will be a few options, was the likes of One Chop, Michael Owen, but I went with these guys. In midfield, it'll be 4 in midfield, so I've just gone for Perez again, playing Millwall. Arca. Could have been one of the Middlesbrough wingers actually, Zapata or Johnston as well. Even though they're away, they're against wing backs, so I like them. Teato looks a really good pick for me this week. In defence on a free hit, I always have Ian Hart just in case he plays. If he does, I think it's looking good for a haul. If he doesn't, then we've got Holden, 4 million Chelsea defender that will hopefully play at left back, or Galley, worst case scenario, to come in. And then Doherty, 4.5 defender, home to Newcastle. Got to stick him in there. And 4.5 Tome for the bonus. Sunderland home to Villa. The only other team I could think of that might get a clean sheet that was a cheap keeper was Man City. So stuck both their keepers in there because neither of them are nailed. And that's the free hit team that I think could do pretty well. Oh, you own all 3 of those, Glasto? Lovely. Well, hopefully it comes through this week. Hopefully it comes through. I say a lot of that's off of CM Fantasy's data, to be honest with you, so I can't particularly take credit from it. It kind of picks itself. Obviously we're missing one game, so we've got options narrowed. Generally go for home players, and those are the home teams with the best fixtures. It's as simple as that. Alright, anything else I've missed, guys, that you want to see? Bricky says Division 2 table. Let's click that quickly. Luton are second, mate. Best goal difference, or quite a distance. 1 point behind Peterborough. Oh, that's not good. Liam George up there. Lee Trundle. This guy sometimes comes to the Prem. Not too bad. Anything else anyone want to see? Just checking through the comments in case I've missed anything. Rui Costa, someone wanted to look at quickly. See who's been playing. I don't know if the league's set up there, that's the problem. Yeah. The league's not running, so we don't know, but you can click him on and see he's been playing some games. But when they happened, I don't know if this is the last Champions League game. He played in centre midfield. I think that's it, guys. Alright, I think we'll leave it there. Good luck for the game week. Keep the faith, as the Arsenal double showed. Generally goals come in the first few minutes and the last few minutes in this game. There's quite a lull in between, so you never know. Remember, if you've got 50-50 decisions, in my opinion, you're nearly always better off playing the attacker unless it's a centre-back in a home game. and even then I'd probably play a forward over him. I think that's just good general advice. That's about it. Cool. I'll be available this time. I'm actually watching this week because I was on Black Box last time, so I missed it. Thanks, Pato. Love it. Wondering if there's anything I'm supposed to say that I've missed. Oh yeah, we're doing a double game week. I think they announced it on the stream though. So when there's an international break in football, we're going to slip in 2 game weeks basically to keep you guys entertained on the weekend. I can't remember the dates off by hand, but it will be tweeted out later on. Catch you later, guys. Much love. Oh, cheers. Yeah, my birthday tomorrow. Whoop, whoop.